I'll take the back seat. Back seat, the back of the body. No, we can see more. We can see everything. Yes, no, this is yes, no,
While my John's over here.
So this is one. If you want to change angles, you can. Sideways, up, down. This is the zoom.
This one right here, okay. Should I keep it right there or kind of like move it? Well, he's going to be there. We can't see him talking.
Good call. Good call. Bring my cables.
All right, folks, we're gonna do, for our Indian community, they already know what's gonna happen for some of our folks that are not part of our Indian community. We're gonna have our priest say a little blessing, so I'm gonna ask everyone to stand up for the blessing. Pradeep Bali, Pradeep Bali, Bali, ਅਤੇ ਸਮੂਹ ਸਟਾਫ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਲੀਵ ਰਹਿਣ ਅਤੇ ਪਾਓ ਜੋ ਕਿ ਇਲੈਕਸ਼ਨ ਵਿੱਚ ਖੜੇ ਹੋਏ ਹਨ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਸਫਲਤਾ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਅਰਦਾਸ ਬੇਨਤੀ ਹੈ। ਆਪ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਸੇਵਕਾਂ ਦੀਆਂ ਬੇਨਤੀਆਂ ਪ੍ਰਵਾਨ ਕਰੀਆਂ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਸਫਲਤਾ ਬਖਸ਼ ਕਰਨੀ ਕਾਮਯਾਬੀਆਂ ਉਸਨੀਆਂ ਸੰਸਥਾਈ ਹੋਣਾ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਸਹੀ ਪਿਆਰੇ ਮੇਲ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਮਿਲਿਆ ਤੇਰਾ ਨਾਮ ਚਿਤਾਵੇ ਸੁਖ ਹੋਵੇ ਨਾਮ ਨਾਮ ਚੜ੍ਹਦੀ ਕਲਾ ਇਹ ਹੋਵੇ ਸਫਲਤਾ All right, Lee, I'm going to ask you to come up here. He's going to give you a little coconut.
Mr. Bali, I'm going to ask you to come up here as one of the hosts, please. So I want to quickly, for a lot of you are my friends. You have been very supportive of me for the many campaigns that I've run out in the community, and so it's almost like family. I feel like I don't have to introduce myself, but just in case there are a couple of new folks that don't know me, my name is Blong Zhuang. I used to be the council member with the city of Fresno for 2 terms, and many of you have been very supportive and good friends of mine. And I've enjoyed working with our committee, and that's why I still do work with Mr. Bali, with Rama, and some of our Indian leaders throughout the valley. So thank you for your continued support. Mr. Bali, Mrs. Bali, and Mr. Singh, we've talked about our community working together. And one of those things that we talk about is how do we engage and make sure that our electeds understand the impact that our community has, whether it's through the education side, the city side, or even some of the state side. And so this falls perfectly this year with this cycle in terms of the important races that we have. And obviously the mayor's race is going to be very important for our community. And Mr. Bali says, how do we do that? And I said, one of the things that we do, and they do a big one, invite a whole bunch of people. Lee might like that. Okay, that has a lot of people, but we can also do one that's very personal, that's very close to close friends and family, that I think will show our electeds how important the community is, but also in terms of the family as well. And so that's why we went with something that was very traditional to a certain point, but also making sure that these are friends and families that are close to Mr. Bali, but are also community leaders within our community. And so that's why we chose to kind of do a small one. And Mrs. Bali has been the backbone of doing all this stuff. I just help put it together, but they do all the tremendous work. And so I want to thank Mr. Bali for his leadership, for really moving in this direction, but also in working with our communities, putting it together. So I'm going to turn this over to Mr. Bali to welcome everybody before we get Lee to come and talk to us. Mr. Bali. Okay.
We're going to make it very short. I'm going to make it very short. I have to thank all my friends who came from their busy schedule, and of course Mr. Lee and Ramakant Dawar. They're all officials and they came from their busy schedule. So I'm very grateful to you people and some of my old friends and young friends and my daughter who came all the way from LA. I'm very grateful.
Just to let he's very proud of his daughter. We should all be.
Venica, get up.
Please.
Yeah, I really want to mention proud of Indian community. My daughter was the first Indian girl to graduate out of West Point and then served the US Army for 7 years. And to top it up, she was in 82nd Airborne Division and a paratrooper. So I'm very proud of her. All of us are very proud of her. And thank you, Venica, for coming all the way from LA.
And I'm pretty sure she is thoroughly embarrassed by that. So I'm going to introduce our next guest. I've had the pleasure of working with Lee, 6 years, Lee? And to many of you, we say local politics is nonpartisan. And for us, when we say nonpartisan, it's not about Republican, Democrats, Independents, but it's about who we believe will do the best job for us as our community. Lee's Republican, I'm Democrat. And I know that some of us out there are Republican, we have Democrats. But I will tell you, my 6 years in working with Lee, we've been able to move a tremendous amount of things. And Lee has been kind of the spearhead on a lot of the policy issues. Now, we haven't agreed on everything, folks, so don't get me wrong. But Lee has been one of those that you can talk to, right? That we can engage and that we can speak about our differences, but still move our city forward. And that is important for us as a community, that we have a leader that's willing to engage us, to talk with us, and to really listen. and then be able to make up his mind based upon those type of discussions. And that's what I've learned in working with Lee in the 6 years that I have, that we've been able to engage on a lot of issues. And there's issues that we said, okay, we agreed to disagree, but we've been able to move forward. And that's why, I have supported Lee. I've endorsed him to be our next mayor. But Lee can tell you a little bit more about that stuff. But I wanted to issue to all of you, to my friend, Councilmember Lee Brand, but more importantly, the next mayor in the city of Fresno. Lee.
Right.
When my time on the council, it's not just cultivating, professional relationships. We have genuine friendships that Long has taught me a lot over the last 6 years. I know a lot more about the Hmong community in this city. And when I leave one day in the city, the memories and the friendships I had will be in my heart forever. And I want to make one quick comment. Al Yang, our next state senator, I fully support him in his practice. Just like Long was one of the first Hmong council members in the United States, right? That he opened the door.
California. We don't want to say United States.
He opened the door, and hopefully Hal will open some more doors. And my family came to America in 1915. They were Italian immigrants coming to Ellis Island. I'm the third generation. I have 4 children, 3 grandchildren. And this is the story of America, a story of immigration, a story of assimilation, and getting the American dream. And I want to thank my host, by the way, I'm remiss. Thank you for the turnout. But I was a young guy many years ago. I found a way through education and through my business to be successful, take a small business to a much higher level. I see a lot of small business people in the Indian community and in the Hmong community that are struggling to get ahead. They all have that same dream, the American dream, to own a house, to have a family, and family is really important to me. And everybody here, I know in your culture, family is really important. About a month ago, this is the middle of a mayoral campaign, my wife had planned a vow renewal, so we went to Hawaii. And I was not going to say no, we're not doing this. And we took my entire family, went there, and we went on the island of Kauai, on this beautiful, it's called Shipwreck Beach. It's got this turquoise water out front, white sand beach, just like paradise on earth. So I'm standing next to her with a minister, after 37 years. I'm looking out at my 4 children and my grandchildren, and to me, this woman and I, our union, brought these people into this world, and this means so much to me to be here, and that's where my strength is, and I think that's where everybody's strength is. But as I look forward into the 2017 as your next mayor, I've already made some conversations about what we need to do to make Fresno a better city. And one thing is to bring everybody together. For a long time, the city of Fresno has been a city of tale of 2 cities. I want to truly transform this economy and bring everybody together, give everybody the same opportunities that I had many, many years ago when I was a young man growing up. And one of the first things I'm going to do, and every administration has talked about this, is business-friendly Fresno. It never quite got there. Anybody who knows who's pulled permits, who's got CUPs, I've talked to people in this audience I've helped out before. As a contractor, I went out and pulled permits in several cities up and down Central California. I know what it's like to have a good business-friendly city, have a permitting process and a plan check that truly gets people through the way. And for people in small business and all these obstacles, I want to remove these obstacles. I've got a plan to really explode this economy, make this economy generate thousands of jobs. And when we do that, we generate the money to pay for all those core services like public safety, that we all need public safety, fire, parks, trails. It is the basic streets, curbs, gutters. More importantly, everybody in our community has an opportunity to succeed. And working with people like Pal on the state center, who's we're going to build a new career technical education center, that we can find a place for those kids that aren't going to go on to become scientists or West Point graduates, but maybe they're going to be plumbers and pipe fitters, and we make more than most of us. That we have the facilities, we have the education and curriculum, have the channel for those kids to move on up, have successful careers, and become members of our society. And the more people that are employed and participate in this city, this dream that I have, we have less need for, for crime and police officers. So again, thank you so much for supporting my campaign for mayor, and I'll be here to answer any questions along the way. Thank you.
Most politicians are not that short. I just want to let you know. If you've ever been on the dais with Lee, he gets long-winded sometimes. No, like I said, I've been blessed to work with him, and I've seen Lee grow, and I think he'll be the right mayor for us and understand our diversity and understand the challenge, and he has shown that. And so, Lee, obviously, we got a lot of work to do in the next couple of weeks here to get you elected, and a lot of us are working hard for you. So we're looking forward to having you up there for 8 years, not just 4. All right, Lee, thank you very much. I'm going to ask you to come up here to make sure that we put this on Powell before he gives. And then,
RBC.
okay,
You can, RB,
please.
please come. Come, you are the one who can do it.
What would you like to do?
Padre, di Corseco na. Romy ya pali niya Bislaya.
Bislaya?
Bislaya ke सारी culture में कोई Corseco ना चल पा रही है।
आजा कुछ ना
आओ भाई साहब,
आजा
आ जाओ।
कोई नहीं
It's not appropriate. That's fine. Stand back.
Thank you.
Corseco का काम होता है। When you train bike along, bike long, yeah. Okay.
बोले सोनिया
So our next guest, and I get to thank Lee again for his support, Kyle. Like all of our community, Raman knows how important it is for us when we're running for office, and especially our minority community to have the type of support that we need. And I remember Lee brought him to me with Powell, and I said, you have to make sure that you get Lee's support because we need to be able to reach beyond our community, and Lee represents a big piece of that. But for us, it's also about building capacity and opening doors. Like Rama has opened doors for our community, and Mr. Bali has opened doors. Many of you has opened doors because of your support of me, and I want to thank all your support of Hal as well. To be there. I think we all know how important education is to our community. We've heard about education. We know what education is, but many of us, especially our generation, I'm in the first refugee generation, we've never had the opportunity until we came to this country. And so having someone that understands that at the State Center, where it impacts a lot of our students, to have someone that cares, to have someone that understands our community, that's going to work hard to not just representing our community, but the entire community, but understand what the infrastructure of education means for us in this country. And I hope that's by next November, we'll have a new trustee at State Center District 2. Powell, we can get you up here and say hello folks to our guests here. Thank you very much, Powell.
I didn't get a chance to shake Lee's hand and Robin's hand. My name is Powell. It's pronounced Powell, and last name is Yang. If you say it in Hmong, it's actually Ball. Yeah. When I was a director at DeVry University, every year we have our graduation, and we get a lot of folks we get a Hispanic speaker who would say, I'm going to pronounce the Hispanic students the way in their native tongue. And I go, then are you going to try to pronounce the Hmong students in their native tongue? And he goes, yeah, I'm a teacher. And I work with a lot of Hmong students, and I can pronounce the Hmong name properly as well. And I go, oh, I like to hear that. And he goes, and I go, well, first of all, just do my name, it's easy. It's only 3 letters. He goes, Hao Yang. I go, no, that's the English pronunciation. And he goes, how do you pronounce your name? I go, Oh, yeah. He goes, what? So, you know, my life has always been education. I came to the United States when I was 6 years old. Started kindergarten, lived in Wichita, Kansas. And then moved down here to Fresno in 1983. Went to elementary school here, middle school, high school, went away to college. I worked as a product development engineer. You know, when we have that stereotype of Asian, you're good in math, so you become an engineer, lawyer, or a doctor, right? I became an engineer. Tough. But that wasn't my passion. My passion was helping people. You know, and then I transitioned to education, had an opportunity to come back here and to come back to my community. When I do things, I always start from home. If I can't help my family, if I can't help my community, then it's gonna be hard for me to help anybody else. So I always look back at myself. We always say, look in the mirror, right? Look in the mirror, make that change. And if you can make that change, then take that as an example and foundation, and then project that out and try to help people. I'm not a politician like Blom or Lee or not even Rama. You know? I'm an educator. That's what I do. I'm working on my doctorate in educational leadership. I came a little bit late this evening. I apologize for that. I'm the campus director / principal at Agape, a charter school. It's a multimedia technology career pathway school out on First in Shaw, and it's a brand new school, so I oversee that school. And we had some student issue, and I was tending to that. That's why I came late, because to me, priority is students first, students and their teachers. And we have to start from that, because the students are our future. And if we don't focus on our future, then we won't have a future. And to focus on the future is to start somewhere, and it's the students. And then besides that, who are educating the students, who are supporting the students in the front lines, that's the teachers. So when I went, I didn't realize how political education was until I started running for the trustee seat, and then I realized, oh my gosh, it's so political. But I was blessed to know Blom, support from Blom, and then I met Rama. 2015 came to the Hmong New Year. I met Rama there. We gave him a Hmong necklace, and I met Rama there. And then after that, I met Lee, and it was a blessing for me to meet these elected officials and see the passion in them and what they want to do to help the community. And that's the key, is what is your goal, what is your priority, and that's to help the community. All of us that are here tonight, we believe in working hard. And we work hard. A lot of us came here with nothing, you know, and we start from the bottom, but we use that as a foundation, and we look forward. But we always look back to see where we came from, but continue to move forward. You know, and I always believe that education is that key. It's a cliche, right? Education is the key to opportunity. Education is the key to a lot of things. You know, my parents didn't speak English. When we came, they were much older, so they didn't speak English. They didn't even know how to drive. We walked to school, you know, and that's my foundation, is knowing where I came from and not wanting to go back, but to move forward. And then to see my community, to understand the folks that work hard and the folks that need to be educated so they can also understand how working hard really is. In our state center, you know, we have close to 50,000 students. That's our students, not your student, not my student, but our students from our community. And that's why this year I decided to run. I want to give back to the community. I want to use my knowledge, my education, and my experience to help the state center and to help our community. There's so much that are involved with the state center. Councilmember Brand talked about, you know, the $480 million bond money that just passed. We're going to use that to build 2 new locations, southwest and southeast. And what are we going to do? Who are we going to outsource a lot of the projects to? So if it's business that's going to impact us as well, it's going to impact our economy. We got Lightspeed Rail coming, like it or not, it's going to come. Do we have the students, the educated student or workforce that are going to take those high-paying jobs, or are folks going to bring workers from out of the city when it's our money that's building the railroad, the high-speed rail? So those are important components. As an engineer from the Bay Area, I lived there for 6 years as a product development engineer. I think we need more engineers here. We need technology here. We can't lose our students, the educated ones, the ones that will help the economy. We can't lose them to the Bay Area. We can't lose them to Sacramento. We can't lose those students to LA. Let's keep them here. But how do we keep them here? We gotta develop curriculum. We have to build facilities that are gonna house programs, the CTE programs. That's great. What about the technology program? What about that piece? You can get an associate degree in information technology and be successful. So we have to look at those high-paying jobs as well as the core technical education courses as well. The plumbers, the builders, the welders, the sheet metal workers, the industrial maintenance technology folks. We understand that. But then what about the other folks? Okay, so that's my experience. 17 years of higher education in career technology, vocational programs. That's why I'm running for the State Center, because I understand the system. And right now the system doesn't work well. When students are taking 6 years to graduate with a 2-year degree. How can I take 6 years to graduate with a 2-year degree? My wife took 6 years. She's a nurse, she's a registered nurse. She went 2 years for her prerequisite. She waited 4 years to get into nursing school at Fresno City. She got in and she took another 2 years. That's a long time to get an associate registered nurse degree. So there are things like that that we have to look at, but you got to understand. You got to understand that the education system is the vehicle that's going to take us to the next millennium. And you have to understand the process, the accreditation piece as well. A lot of folks, when I was with the Institute of Technology, we were developing a program. It's an associate degree. It's a maintenance mechanic. It's called Industrial Maintenance Technology. It's a year and a half to complete that associate degree. We went and we met with the wineries. We went and met with the beef company. Is it Martin Luther King? Cargill. What is it? Cargill. Cargill. We went and met with Cargill with their leadership team about the program. And it's 18 classes. And Cargill goes, hey, great program. We need it. We need maintenance mechanic. But our employees don't need all 18 classes. And they don't need an associate degree. They don't need to pay $30,000. We just need 8 classes. Can you develop a certificate program with 8 classes that we need so that we can educate our folks and educate other folks so that we can hire them so they don't leave our city? And we went back and said, we can do that. We can do that. We rewrote the program. We sent it to the accrediting board. It took 3 months. They approved it, and they said, as long as it's not an associate degree, make sure it's a certificate program. Got it approved. We initiated that program. And it was that easy. But that's understanding the process. And the goal is who's willing to do that? Who's willing to work on those minute issues and sit at their desk for 10 hours and get that done so that our community can take advantage of those programs. You know, so it's things like that that I believe that at the State Center folks are not willing to do because it's so minute. They rather focus on other bigger things. But it's little things that add up and then becomes a time bomb. And then we wonder why, gosh, we don't have the workforce we need for the employers that are here. And employers don't want to come because they make it so hard for them to come into town. And then we wonder why our city is not as great as we want it to be. You know, so that's just a little bit of it. I want to thank Mr. Bali. You know, I met him at a function for Sal. I had an opportunity to meet him, and then from there on, you know, he was adamant about how, you know, I want to support you and I want to help you. Also, I thank you, you know, from the bottom of my heart for helping me and making this a lot easier for me. I thank Rama as well. When I went and met him, I got his endorsement, shared a lot of knowledge about the education structure, about being a trustee, and then Lee Brand as well for his knowledge and expertise in terms of how the political arena and landscape work. And I've been blessed. I've never walked and knocked on doors before. I've been doing that for the last 2 months, and I can honestly say this, and I want to share this with you. Every household that I knock on and I share my story, and when I show them that pamphlet, and then when I talk about Rama, Lee, and the folks that are supporting me, I get a big yes on them supporting me as well. So I've been blessed with the endorsement and with your name recognition in the community. Almost every Indian household that I knock on opens the door and I'm able to put a yard sign. And I'm so happy, and I share this with the Hmong community as well, and I go, folks, what you guys don't know is every house, Indian household that I knock on, they open the door, they even invite me in. A couple of them are like, you're sweating, come on in. And they gave me water, you know, and I'm so blessed with that, because that is the culture that we want to thrive here. The culture of support, the culture of love that we present to each other. So I thank you for tonight, and I look forward for your continued support. And let's get our mayor there. Hopefully I win this, and then we need to push Rama up higher as well. So I thank you.
So I'll quickly end, but there's a couple of important people that I want to make sure that we recognize as well. But the reason coming together is important and putting folks in positions that make decisions is important. You know, having a Rama as Central Unified makes a big difference, because we talked about Punjabi Pass, we talked about Hmong Pass, we talked about this for a long time. But until we have somebody that's up there making those decisions, that can talk to the superintendent, that can, you know, talk to administration, and then talk to the community, it doesn't happen. And so Rama has worked hard with his colleagues, and so just recently, as I know, that the Central Unified now will be having Punjabi class and Hmong classes. So thank you, Rama.
Because in January 2007 we started this, and we were appearing in front of the board at that time, but we were never heard. These things were never brought in action. But now these things are brought in action. Thank you, Belong, for pushing that at that time, and now we are achieving that goal.
2007, such a long time. We're in 2016. Lee knows how government works sometimes, but we'll take it. But also community leaders, and you know, Mr. Biswa, thank you so much. I mean, we need people all across, those that write checks, those that will bring voters. Lee, you just got 2 votes, and Mr. Biswa was able to do that. That's so important. Thank you so much. I know Mr. Harvey is saying that he's always, that's why we look for community leaders that will support us to do this. And without those broad community support, none of us will be able to do the work that we do for our community. And so having Mr. Harvey doing the same thing, they're also busy doing their work, but they also know the importance of writing a check and of telling our community to vote for the right person that's going to support us. Thank you again for your leadership as well. You should continue to support that. You know, Mr. Nanjit Singh, I don't have to say anything about this gentleman. I'm pretty sure we run into one of his stores around the way, as he owns so many. But again, those are the financial mechanism. As we all know, Lee will attest, without financial support, a campaign does not happen. And that is the truth. We've run on a shoestring budget. I've run a campaign for a shoestring budget, and I know how difficult it is. And Lee knows for many campaigns, but this mayor's race, you should see how big compare this mayor's race to what we go through as city council. And the financial support that our communities put in, so seeing our business, it just goes across, and it allows us to do the work to make sure that we get our message across to a diverse community. That's why having this type of setting, even as we get close to absentee ballots, makes a huge difference for us. You look at Mr. Sander, thank you so much for the work that you're doing. Thank you for the support. But also met, you know, our couples up here, Monica and Joe. You're gonna, as I told you, you're gonna have to talk with them, because they just created, you know, one of those, they call it the bedroom, okay, a program that, was it, I can't remember.
She can tell you.
Tell me the program.
Are you talking about
Yes.
the Lotus app?
Yes.
Yeah.
After school program.
After school.
One of the few ones that has been accredited by WASP. Lee, out of their house, out of their home, this is what we're talking about. And now that they're out there doing great work and supporting our community, and to be one of the few accredited after school program, that's a great accomplishment. And thank you very much for doing this for our community. And just to let you guys know, I know that our tech folks, right? Paul, Archie, and Nick, this is streamed live. So know that, and I don't know who else is watching, so I'm hoping that we do a good job of hosting this event, but we want to thank our folks for that. So I want to make sure that I bring Mr. Bali back up here to close for tonight, but thank you for your time, thank you for your commitment, and I look forward to continue working with our Indian community, working with our new mayor and our new trustee. All right, thank you.
I want to tell you that I am an immigrant who came with $2,000, two little girls and 2 suitcases to this town 25 years back. Like all of us are immigrant, and I achieved the American dream by getting my both girls into the best colleges, valedictorians, everything. I'm still looking for one thing, any substitute to hard work. There is none. So these are people who are very close to my heart, like Navjeet, Bisla, Mr. Harvey Singh. I have not invited the whole crowd, Mrs. Sandhu. I have not invited the whole. I could have filled this hall with hundreds of people.
Yes,
right?
Yes.
We had 200 people here in the same hall from Mr. Blondon, and he has been very helpful to my community. And please keep one of the young members from our community into your campaign or staff, because this is growing. This is one of the richest and hardworking people, and we have all worked. Some people came with $75, some people came with $200, but we all worked hard. And I especially have to thank Mr. Rama. For 25 years, he supported me in every event. Everything I do, I call him. Can I do this? And he always calls me. I'm doing this, what do you think? Except he makes lots of mistakes. And I have to correct him. There is no Hindu, no Sikh. We are all Americans. Right? Let's set examples to everyone. All our children should become good. I'm sure you're doing that. And you're educating them sitting at home. Very good. But I want to thank all of you, and especially Suki Kamal and Samar Kamal.
The backbone of his office.
Suki Kamal is going to complete her 4th year this year. Every time she gives me the resignation letter, I tell her no. So she's stuck with me. And you have heard of the Sethi family, the richest in town? She's Suki Sethi. Summer comes when she feels like to work. And sometimes I have to send my car to pick her up, like today and yesterday. And she says, can I take your car home? I said, yes, sure. She's very hardworking. She organized everything, and Suki did. And my other staff who's not here, they had to leave early because of Friday. And we start work on Friday, Indians. We work Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. And Navjeet Singh will be, you can find him in one of the stores at middle of the night. And always solving problems. So please get one staff from our community to your younger generation, not us, obviously. We are useless. We don't want to work no more. But get this young people to get involved in politics and get them up. And finally, I wanted to introduce 2 gentlemen who have come from Canada and bringing hundreds of jobs to the town. I've been sponsoring them and requesting them for so many years. And you will see their name, the biggest house builders in town. They make 500 and up, 2 million, 3 million. Come.
No, sorry.
You get together. Don't be lazy. I'm not going to introduce your father. He's the main young man who's building in Washington, Washington, Seattle.
2006. So
You've been,
yeah, we've been building there since 2006, but building homes since 1988.
I forced them from Seattle to come to Fresno because Fresno has been so lucky for us. Both my girls were valedictorians from Edison. Both of them went to the top college. I'm sure everybody's children are going to do well. Let's set an example. Let's help the community. There is these are people who are very close to my heart. So please meet them. And those of you who have not written check till now, please write my name on it. But thank you very much again, and God bless. Thank you very much.
So I hope you guys take advantage of Lee right now.
I only support winning horses.
And pal, I will tell you, once Lee becomes mayor, we're not going to be able to get a call in for a while, okay? No, Lee's very personal, but I am serious though. Take advantage of them as they're here, shake their hand, just so get to know them, because we will want to meet with them later on, and that's just very important for us. So Lee, please, and pal, introduce yourself, make sure you shake everybody. But again, thank you very much for all your support. And pictures, yes, thank you. And have a great evening, folks. We got a lot of food left over, right?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Arch, how do we turn this off?
I couldn't take your name, but anybody crossed 18, don't take it.
Yeah.